Department of Zoology, Sri Vasuvi College, Hero, Tamil Nadu. I am happily welcome all of you for this national level webinar on World Elephant Day celebration in collaboration with World Wide Fund for Nature, India. I thank Almighty God for making today's occasion a resounding success. Thank you all for coming and joining us here today. It's my immense pleasure to welcome our respected principal, Dr. N. Jayakumar sir, for his valuable guidance and support. This is a great opportunity to welcome our co-host from WWF, Mr. Saravanan, co-coordinator, Environment Education in World Wide Fund for Nature in India, Western Ghats, Nilgiri Landscape, who is a good environmentalist, conservator, educator. Despite of his busy schedule, he found time to grace his occasion. Our department was established in the year of 1967 for pre-university college. UG course started in the year of 1972, followed by a PG course in the year of 1983, and research degree were offered since 1992. Ever since, our students have achieved 85 university ranks and 15 gold medals. Also, we have completed 73 MPhil degrees and PhD degrees. Our professors have published 275 research papers. Total citation is 631. Among this, 54 are in UGC CARE A list. Several research projects were completed by our faculties, funded by UGC, TNSCST, Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, DST, and CERN. Every year, our department organizes various extension activities like identification of blood grouping, anti-tobacco awareness program, World Ozone Day awareness and rally, World Tiger Day celebration, cancer awareness program, leprosy identification and eradication program. Also conduct science exhibition for school students. Our Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Edappadi K. Palanichami, is our prominent alumni. During this pandemic period, we, the science people, share our valuable thoughts about conserve the nature. It's my great pleasure to welcome our eminent resource person, Mr. D. Bhuminathan, wildlife biologist, landscape coordinator in Wildlife and Habitats Division of World Wide Fund for Nature in India. So far, nearly 400 participants were registered, such as students, scholars, scientists, professors, school teachers, conservationists, etc., from various disciplines. On behalf of our department, I welcome all the participants from Tamil Nadu and all over the state of India. I am sure that the participants could benefit by attending this webinar. I am very much thankful to our media cum technical partner, Spotlight Mr. Srinivasan, for their valuable support. Without them, it could not have been possible to organize this webinar. At this juncture, it's my immense pleasure to welcome our knowledge resource person, Dr. Gobinath from Armugam Pillai Sidayammal College, Tirupattur, and Dr. M. Rajesh, American College, Madurai. I thank Almighty for His abundant grace and blessings for making this webinar on a grand success. Once again, I welcome you all for this webinar, World Elephant Day celebration. Thank you. Thank you, one and all. Now, I request our principal, sir, to deliver his presidential address.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So, good morning to one and all. So, on behalf of the management, the principal, and staff members of Sri Vasuvi College, I invite everyone for the webinar on World Elephant Day celebrations. So, organized by the PG and the Research Department of Zoology in association with Worldwide Fund for Nature, India. At this juncture, I wish to thank Saravanan sir, the coordinator, and the today's resource person, Mr. D. Bhuminathan, Landscape Coordinator, WWF India, Western Ghats Nilgiri Landscape Coimbatore, for accepting even the invitation to be the resource persons for the today's webinar. So on behalf of our college, I extend my warm welcome to all the resource persons who are going to attend this webinar. And particularly my wishes goes to the HOD of Zoology Department, Dr. Sandarkala, and all the staff members of Zoology Department for organizing such a wonderful webinar. And today, so the number of elephants so goes on decreasing, and it is our duty, so everyone duty to save the life of elephants. And on the day of World Elephant Day celebrations, so Mr. B. Bhuminathan, so we are going to tell a lot of about elephants and what are the types of elephant, all those things. As I think that this will be a very useful webinar to all the participants. And once again, I welcome you all for this webinar. And once again, I thank all the participants for attending this seminar. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you, sir. Thanks
Thank
a lot, sir. I request our professor, Dr. Uday Kumar sir, to introduce our co-host member from WWF. Uday Kumar sir. Hello. Uday Kumar sir. Hello. 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 Srinivasan sir, நானே சொல்லிட்டுமாங்க சார்?
இல்ல அவர் அன்மியூட் பண்ணலாம் சார். உதயகுமார் சார் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கங்க சார். அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கங்க சார். உதயகுமார் சார் மியூட் பண்ணியிருக்கு, கொஞ்சம் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கங்க.
சார் நாம பண்ணணுமா இல்ல அவர் பண்ணணுமா சார்?
இல்ல நான் பெர்மிஷன் கொடுத்துட்டேன், அவங்க பண்ணணும், அவங்க தான் பண்ணணும். சார் உதயகுமார் சார் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கங்க சார் ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Okay.
Good morning to all. It is great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, who is going to talk to us about elephant conservation and the challenges in India. Elephants are playing an important role in maintaining the biodiversity of the ecosystem. It is called as a keystone species due to poor knowledge and lack of understanding of this huge animal. It is killed for various reasons, mainly due to human-animal conflict. For spreading awareness about the critical threats for elephants, we are celebrating August 12 as World Elephant Day. It is in this connection, we have wonderful and eminent resource person through D. Bhuminathan sir, currently working as landscape coordinator in Wildlife and Habit Division of WWF India. Our resource person is basically a wildlife biology since last 2 decades. He have been working in various part of Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve on key wild species conservation. Main area of working is human wildlife conflict, and it is mitigation and securing corridors. With the brief introduction, I extend a warm to our resource person. Welcome you, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
மேடம் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கங்க மேடம். மேடம்
Hello.
மேடம் பேசுங்க மேடம்.
Hello.
Hello. This is Dr. A. Rajarajeshwari, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Zoology. A warm welcome to one and all. to this wonderful webinar on August 12, World Elephant Day. Today's chief guest, presently working as a coordinator, environment education in Worldwide Fund for Nature, India, Western Ghats, Nilagiri Landscape, Coimbatore. As an coordinator, he handled the environment education and awareness program across the state involving various stakeholders such as students, corporates, NGOs, and other communities. Along with Worldwide Fund, he done a lot of service to the environment as well as to our society, particularly for our future generation. Such a wonderful person, he is none other than Mr. M. Saravanan sir, coordinator and educator, environment education in Worldwide Fund, Nilagiri, Coimbatore. I welcome you, sir. I extend a warm welcome to this a wonderful session, and we also thank you, sir, for your valuable suggestions, cooperation, and support to conduct this webinar on World Elephant Day. No doubt, through this webinar, we and our participants will aware and gain more information about elephants and their role in the environment. And also, we and our participants will gain more knowledge about the importance of conservation and challenges of elephants in India. Once again, I thank you one and all and welcome one and all to this wonderful webinar. Thank you each and all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. I request our co-host member from WWF, Mr. Saravanan sir, to deliver the concept of this webinar, Elephant Conservation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Saravanan sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. And first of all,
Thank you, sir.
safe in that home. Can you able to hear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
yes, sir.
good morning to all of you. And I hope all are in safe and staying in home. And first of all, I would like to thank Dr. Chandrakala ma'am and as well as the Vasuvi College principal and the staff member who has taken the lead to organize the Elephant Day webinar here. And due to a lot of pandemic conditions, organizing webinar is very difficult because people are staying in the home. This is the one opportunity we could able to reach out to the people and create awareness on the elephant, the majestic animal. So before we will go to the in-depth talk on elephant conservation challenges in India, I would like to brief you about that how this Elephant Day started. So everyone aware about this majestic animals, giant animal, keystone species in the forest ecosystem, and this species was facing a lot of threats and survival in the wild. So to address these issues, and they started and they created awareness on this particular issue. August 12th, 2012, it was started. The first elephant conservation day was started. Awareness day was started, and then periodically annually it was celebrated by across the globe. And basically the elephant day was to inculcate knowledge on the elephant threats and issues and the conservation challenges we face, and also create awareness is the major one we need to talk on this particular day. So across globe, every government, NGOs, and education institution are creating a lot of awareness on this particular day and celebrating the and creating awareness through various publics. And we, WWF India and Western Ghats Landscape, we have done a lot of awareness on this particular day. And the last few years, and this year due to the pandemic, we could not able to do any program. We supported the Vasuvi College to organize this webinar. And last year we had a very good event in Coimbatore where we involved the NGOs and even the college students to have a big rally in the Coimbatore city and creating awareness on the elephant. So without further delay, I don't want to take much time because Mr. Bhuminathan, my colleague, is there and who works in this species for many years, who has in-depth knowledge on this species. He can share his thoughts and his issues which is happening across India. So first of all, I once again I'll thank to the department as well as the college, and particularly Dr. Chandrakala ma'am, who has given an opportunity for us to address this Elephant Conservation Day webinar thing. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Now I request our resource person, Mr. D. Bhuminathan, sir, to deliver the concept of this webinar. I welcome you, sir.
So good morning, all of you, and thank you for giving this opportunity to interact with you all for about elephants during the International Elephant Day. And lots of talks are going on since yesterday in different places and different organizations. And so what is the time limit is given for this talk, madam?
Sir, 1 hour or 1.5 hours, sir.
Okay, right. So I'll.
So 1 hour, sir.
Yeah, okay. So I'll just share my screen, and you just let me know whether you all can see the screen. Could you all see my screen?
Yes, Bhumi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I
sir.
just give a full screen now. Yeah. So
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
so Asian elephants. So there are two elephants. One is Asian elephant, and another one is African elephant in the world. And the Asian elephants are distributed in 13 Asian countries, including India is the major population of Asian elephants, and other Asian countries, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, so Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia. So all 13 countries together, there are around 50,000 elephants are in the globally the Asian elephants, and of which more than 60% of the elephants, Asian elephants, are found in India. That's a very significant message. Overall population, more than 60% is found in the India, and within India, the special is with India's population. So more than 50% of the population found only in the southern part of the country. So the Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu together around 12,000 elephants are there, according to the the government of India figure, the Asian elephant population census. So every 5 year once, the synchronized elephant population estimation is conducted in India, and there are 4 different regionally the elephants are found. South India and North India, then Northeastern India, and Central, East Central. So when looking at our landscape, the South India, so in overall India there are 32 elephant reserves are there. You all know that the tiger reserves are there. In Tamil Nadu we have 4 tiger reserves: Satyamangalam, Mudumalai, Anamalai, Kalakkadu, Mundurai. So they are all especially declared for tiger-centric protection in these tiger reserves. So likewise, so elephant reserves also there in India. There are 32 elephant reserves are there, and this landscape is called Brahmagiri, Brahmagiri Nilgiri Eastern Ghats landscape, which is the stronghold of Asian elephant, single largest population globally. Where 12,000 square kilometers are connected, and nowhere else in the in the elephant distributed areas such a single large population you can see. So that is one important message that I would like to emphasize here. So the elephants are found in various habitats, starting from dry thorn forest areas, and the deciduous forests, and they found in the hill tropical forests, and they are in the grasslands also. But very optimal habitat is the deciduous forest types. What you see here is the dry deciduous forest type, and dry deciduous, moist deciduous forest. That the elephant density is very good in the country. And this is the very dry thorn forest areas, place like the Satyamangalam, the Moyar Valley, Sigur. So these are the areas where you can see dry thorn forest and hill tropical forest. And of course, the elephants are some, go to grasslands in the summer season when, the food scarcity, and when the lower, the foothills areas are very dry. So they visit the upper, plateau of the higher elevated areas where still you get some green fodder. So, but it is not very optimal habitat for elephants. And if you could look at the social aspects of the Asian elephants, so they live together, the family members, the closely bonded, related members. So they live together, and you see sometimes the 30-40 elephants, and sometimes 5-6 elephants, 10 elephants, 15 elephants, and the small unit is the mother and its dependent calves. So this is 1 or 3 elephants, 2 elephants, 3 elephants. It's a small unit. So the entire family is been, led by the female. That's where it's called a matriarchal society. And the eldest female in the group will be the leader of the family. And so the group, they know very well that, where the resources are found, and where the, seasonally how we have to place ourselves for access the resources like fodder, water, etc. And the adult males are, detached from the family. Like they will be, move away from the family, and it will be mostly solitary and loosely joined with the herds during the breeding time. And it will have its own home range, and the home range will be expanded with the age. And also the during the must period, the range will be very large. So the male elephants will get into must, and I will talk about it later. And once the males are, they started growing, and from 5-6 years old, the subadult males will be moving out from the family, meeting the other members of the other family groups, and they have a play fight. And these are all things will be, it will be helpful for them, as they are going to be, going to be there in the habitat in the future, and they can easily understand, the dominance hierarchy and all that will be established through these play fights. And the elephants have their, own home range. So each herd of elephants, they require more than 600 to 800 square kilometers of area for their needs, resources. So they'll be moving across the areas during the seasonal variation. And the male elephants will have a home range of about 300 square kilometers. So large area is required, and we cannot conserve elephant into a small area like 50-100 square kilometers area, where the smaller animals can be, using their whole lifetime. But the elephants require very large area, and also the male elephants are going to disperse from the, female herds when they are matured and when they are becoming adults. So the dispersal also requires large area connected habitats. So they will have a strong fidelity to their home range, and they will, any disturbance to this home range will be impacting on their resources and availability of resources, and they will come into conflict. So that is where we find human wildlife, human elephant conflict in the forest fringe areas. So the dominant hierarchy is also there between the families, that some groups are dominant and some groups are submissive group, and they will be placing themselves accordingly. The dominant group will be in the center of the habitat, and where the resources are very good, and the other groups are around their the dominant herds. And so they'll place without any conflict, they'll place themselves understanding the dominance hierarchies. And the male elephants, And the male elephants require more than 300 square kilometers of area annually, and they will have a 2 season apart from the seasonal, like summer, winter, and autumn seasons and monsoon season. They will have must and non-must season. So the male elephants during must, it will be wandering a large area. So the tusker you see here in the picture is radio collared and fitted with a satellite unit, satellite collar, and monitored for 5 years. And we see less than 100 square kilometers of area during the non-must period, whereby the must area is three times larger than the non-must period. And it will be using 2-3 divisions across the landscapes and across the state border. And they don't have any boundaries, and they'll be wandering very large areas in search of the resources. And another bull, which again radio collared from Wayanad, and the must range is shown in the red color, and the the must range is shown in the blue color, and non-must range is in the red color. You can see the very large area, more than 200 square kilometers of area during the non-must period. This is the time when they will be roaming around in search of the suitable female herds in the population. And so before we get into the major conservation and the ecosystem, the role in the ecosystem, we will talk about little bit about the elephant, so understand about their behavior. And so the elephant feeding behavior. If you look at the herd of elephants, and they will be moving along these different habitats according to the season and according to the resource available, and they will be following the rainfall pattern. And during the southwest monsoon, they'll be placed in the in the landscape, in our landscape. Presently, you will see good density of elephants in Nagarhole, Mudumalai, Wayanad, and Bandipur areas, which are dominated by the deciduous forests. And once this monsoon get over and the northeast monsoon starts, and slowly the elephant movement will be in the drier areas like Tan forest areas, like the Satyamangalam, Erode, and the Eastern Ghats areas. So more than 250 kilograms of fodder is required for an adult elephant, and irrespective of the age group, 5% of its body weight the food requires every day, and more than 150 liters of water also every day it requires. And that's where when the resources are limited, and when the resources are taken away, and the competition is there, and the pressures in the habitat, then the conflict starts. And that is where we see elephants within the human dominated areas and the human use areas in search of fodder and water. And then the behavior of must, I said. So the must gland is there in the temporal region between the ear and the eye. You can see a wet patch in the temporal area and the cheek. So this is called must fluid, which will be oozing out from the must gland, which is there in the the temporal region. There is a hole, and the hole the must fluid oozing, and this will have a strong odor, and it is a chemical communication to the other elephants. Suppose if there is a non-must male in the particular area, it will try to avoid getting conflict with this must bull, and if there is a suitable female herds in that area, and it will be attracted by this must smell. And must bulls will be just it will be wandering a large area, and it will not be feeding or drinking properly, and it will be dribbling urines, and it will be rubbing the must gland against the tree, and like it will be giving the signal to the population. And so the elephants have a very good capacity of picking up the smells rather the vision. So if when we are going to the field, and we will be approaching elephant from the direction where the wind goes from the elephant to the person, so that's where we will pick up the elephant smell, and the elephant will not able to get the smell of our presence there. If suppose if we are giving the smell to the elephant, and the elephant will easily pick up by raising the trunk and getting the smell, and but they cannot see even if we are 100-meter, 50-meter away from the elephant without motion, so the elephant cannot see properly. So, so that's a highly developed, the smelling capacity in elephants. And this must is like, it is also again to show the dominance. It is the time when they are, breeding time, and it will be wander a lot to look for the suitable female in the populations, and to outride the other bulls in the same areas. But both must and non-must bulls will be get mated with the female herds, and they reproduce. But the female herds also, they'll be choosing the must bulls in the population. So the must is like, this is the period when the testosterone level will be much higher than the normal period, and that must will be, it's a yearly phenomenon. Once in a year, if the body condition is good, and when the peak body condition time, the must will be coming. And if the body condition and the resources available, everything is good, then the must season and the time, almost the date is also will be same every year. And the must bull will be very aggressive, and especially when we go in the field, and so we can easily pick up the smell of this must. If you are regularly going to the field, you'll get familiar of this must smell. And the must bulls will be very aggressive, as we know. So we will be avoiding suppose if we get a must smell in that area, we will avoid the area, and we'll look for a must bull there, and it will be very difficult to escape from must bulls if we are getting into. And so the elephants will also have they feed on the salt licks. There will be naturally deposited salt in the forested areas, and the elephants, through their smelling capacity, they'll find out those salt licks, and they will eat the salt along with the soil. And this is to give minerals to the supplements to the elephants. And some areas you might have seen in the tourism areas, in the early days we used to see in Mudumalai, Bandipur. So they'll give artificially, they'll give the salt licks, and to provide salt for the elephants, and also to increase the sightings for the people who are the tourists who are visiting the parks. And so the habitats for elephants across the globally, it's all you see, it's regionally, it's all fragmented. And this is again, if you look at this our landscape in Tamil Nadu, so you can see this the Nilgiris and Brahmagiri Nilgiri landscape, and then you can see the Anamalais landscape, and then you can see the Theni Stiviliputtur landscape, and then the Kanyakumari and Nilgiri, the Tirunelveli landscape. So within single landscapes also, it's highly fragmented, and they are connected with the corridors. Since the elephant requires a very large area and connected habitat, and given this fragmentation, we require the elephants' habitats are connected by corridors. So these corridors are not always the forest area. It will be like human habitation, like the crop field area or some coffee estates, and we have to identify those corridors and protect them. So one of the organization called the Wildlife Trust of India has documented these corridors. So more than 100 corridors are being documented in the 2017, a book called Rite of Passage. So you can see regionally. So in South India, we have about 28 such corridors are there. And those corridors are very crucial for the conservation of elephants. And if you look at the land use pattern of the, the elephant habitat areas, you can see till the, the foothills, the development is gone, and the crop fields are been, and then a lot of the, minings, and you can see the, the brick kilns in Coimbatore areas. So if you have visited this Tadaham Valley, You can see this brickland. So such land use changes, lead the elephants into a serious conflict with the people and come to a crop rights. And so more than 400 people are being, killed by elephants across the country, and several thousand hectares of the crop fields, and people are affected. And of course, the elephants also, more than 50 elephants are being killed in retaliation in protecting the crops and defense of the crops. And it's from Coimbatore, and usually elephants used to raid crops during the night, and they'll go back to the forest. And slowly this behavior is also slowly getting changed, and changing, and seeing elephants in the evening time in the crop field. So it's very, very unusual, and it's happening in many places. If you go to coffee plantations area, both day and nights, these elephants are using the coffee plantations, and people are using that areas, often getting encountered with elephants. And when they are going for the crop rides and all that, the male elephants, when they are dispersing from the herd, and they will also form a small bachelor group, and the bachelor groups and the older male will be the main one, and the younger bulls will be acquiring the knowledge of the older bulls, and it will be learning from the older bulls, and they'll be raiding crops, and they'll create a lot of problems in the human use areas. And so how this human elephant conflict is being mitigated across the country. So the trench you are seeing on the right side, so elephants cannot jump like other animals. So the trench has been constructed along the peripheral areas, interface between the forest and the crop fields, and so this will prevent elephants straying outside the forest areas. But in most places, so these trenches are being damaged by people, and people are not being participating in protecting or maintaining this, because all the people living outside the forest are not farmers, are not landholders, and they are not interested about prevention of so their access to the forest area. So some people will be going for cattle grazing, and some people will going for collecting some non-timber forest products. So they'll be breaking these trenches, and some elephants learn to break this damage this trenches, and also the high rainfall areas, and there will be places where completely rocky areas where you cannot build a trench. So very difficult. So each and every system has its own advantages and disadvantages. And then the electric fencing. This system came in somewhere in 2000 and in 90s, and so such electric fences are constructed along the boundary to prevent elephant going outside. So these fences will give a shock, heavy shock, but the elephant can retrieve, and it will not kill the elephant. So such fences also been been broken and damaged by elephants, and they know how to overcome it, because the fences, the fence posts will not have the power. So the fence posts are being targeted by elephants and damaged, and the elephant tusk is also non-conductor, and they will use the tusk to break the fence, and they will be going still access to the crop fields. And these are some high investment barriers, which are more than 25 lakhs per kilometer. The steel rope fence, which has been developed in the Hosur areas, but being very effective. And suppose if we have a very high conflict hotspots like Hosur, and probably we have to think of using such barriers. And the right side picture you see is the railway line barrier, and so this barrier very, very highly expensive, more than 1 crore per kilometer, and been tested in Karnataka, Nagargole, Bandipur, and Banarghata areas. And so these are some of the barrier system which is being used to mitigate conflict. So this is how the elephants, they negotiate, they learn to overcome such barriers. And then the people also innovate new technologies like so suppose if the elephant is pushing the post, then the wires are being the hanging wires, the vertical fence. The top left you see is the vertical fence, and on the top right is the tentacle fence. So these are so trial and error methods that people themselves they are innovating different technologies to overcome. But in the olden days, in the crop fields, the farmers used to have a small hut over the treetop, and they'll be guarding from this, from the field throughout the night, and they'll have some alarm system, and or randomly they'll get up and then they'll be busting firecrackers to deter the elephants. But these days, the farmers are not mostly staying in the crop fields, and they have a system like barriers, and the barriers are not always effective. And of course, these private fields they'll be maintaining it well, and it will be working good. But when the government plan for the large areas, unless the people, the community participation is there, it will be very difficult to manage and maintain the conflict situations. And apart from elephants, there are other wildlife is also been associated in conflict, like the wild pig. Wild pigs are almost every day they'll go to the crop field, and sometimes they'll be staying inside the crop fields, and they'll be raiding crops. And the problem will be much more severe than the elephant problems for the people. And the people will be sometimes using the fences connected to the mains, which we have the powers in the domestic current, so that will be mostly killing the wildlife. And almost 50 elephants in a year in India are getting killed in this fashion, this electrocution. So electrocution is one of the serious problems, and not only for wildlife and also for the people. And it is a highly dangerous for the human beings also. And then the linear infrastructure being constructed in the elephant habitats. So more and more highways and national highways, and the railway tracks are coming in, and which is killing about 20 elephants in a year in the country. And whatever is coming in, and they are keep negotiating such roads and railway tracks. And so there should be a careful plan, there should be a mitigation plan while constructing such roads and railway tracks. Now, for example, this the corridor in Coimbatore area, if you are traveling from Metropolitan to Ooty, a place called Kallar, which is very, very thin, connectivity in the south and north habitats through this Kallar area. And more than 8,000 vehicles are passing through this corridor. But suppose if, continuously when the vehicles are moving through, then the elephants are not able to cross, and their population is almost, their movement is almost blocked. So in such situation, the conflict is deflected to different other areas. That is what we are experiencing these days. And the elephants tend to stay more time than their normal movement pattern, and they are involving in more time in conflict, and they are getting killed, and they are, their body condition goes poor. And these are the reasons. And so the flyover, we have been discussing a flyover for this Kallar corridor, which can elevate the traffic, and so that the elephants will be freely moving underneath. And the land use also, it's some of these corridors, the forest is not directly connected, it is connected through the private fields, and whereby the government need to see that the corridors are secured for their long-term conservation. And this is how the elephants, and then the train hit deaths of about 20 elephants are dying every year in different parts of the country for the train hit deaths. So in Coimbatore, the Palakkad Coimbatore railway track is passing through a section of the forest in the Coimbatore and Palakkad division of the forest division, and whereby so the elephants were once in a while they are getting killed by this speedy train. And then there is a ramp is made in the couple of years back. A ramp is made to ease the elephant movement to quickly pass through this railway track, and which is very much helping. And so the elephant, so this picture I just put because when you are all see the elephant in a forest area, generally they'll be feeding and they'll be the ear fanning action will be there, and they'll be swaying the tail, and they'll suddenly, if there is a, they stop all this movement, and then when the ear becomes straight and the tail becomes straight, and then they'll be kicking the ground, and they'll making a kind of sound, roaring sound. So these are things which shows that their aggression, and they found something, smell, or so they seen some people there, and when there is a threat, they'll be showing this aggression. So the elephant body weight, and like 4,000 kilograms of body weight, the adult male elephants, and you may see that they may not run very fast, but they'll start for within a second, like 40-kilometer speed it will be taking up. So we cannot underestimate elephant, and always we should be keeping our critical distance, and when we are moving into a critical distance, and it will be very difficult to escape from the elephant. And as always, when the people goes, so we will not get into such situation, but I am saying that some people will be going through the forest areas, and they'll be passing through, and they without knowing the elephant behavior, they'll be going with the cell phone after the elephant to take selfie and all that, and they'll get caught. So we should be so elephants will not immediately charge, and they'll be giving a mock charge, and they'll make all this agitation to show. So we should be noticing that and getting the encounter avoided. And the challenges, if you see in the habitats of elephants, not only here across the country, so main prime elephant habitats are now being spread with the unpalatable vegetation, and this is the invasive alien species. One particular species called Lantana camara, and the Sema caruvel and the Prosophis juliflora. So these are taking over most of these prime elephant habitats, and there is habitat management is also in different forest divisions, but there is no concrete solution to remove this, because large scale plan is not there, and that is where a lot of organizations are working now to remove this lantana and invasive alien species from the elephant habitats, to provide them good resources. And so presently there are a lot of lantana wood based handicrafts are being made, and the scale of the problem and what we are doing now is very, very small. So that's where large scale plan that we all discussing now. And the habitat connectivity, so you can see the villages inside the forest, and then we will have to see the connectivity, and such a way we have to plan whether these the crop fields or villages are not blocking the movements of the elephants. So one significant part of this landscape is the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats join together through this Mayar Valley. So the Mayar Valley is very, very fragile area, and it should be protected for the long-term conservation of elephants. So all the developmental activities are focusing in such areas, like there was a proposal to build a railway line between Chamarajanagar and Satyamangalam, Erode, through this the Mayar Valley, and which was dropped after the proper justification was in place by organizations, and even our WWF, we have studied and prepared a report, and the report was been well taken, and then but in the future we don't know, so it will be again and again it will be coming up, and then we will have to work on. And so one should understand the fragile areas, and once it has been opened up, and it cannot be repaired, so very, very difficult to conserve after that. So that's where very crucial. And then another mitigation measures. So the people who are losing their crops and people who are losing their lives, and the department is giving compensation, and department is also sometimes they have to capture some problematic elephants, and they have been it's been there in the practice from long time. And so they are being captured several occasions. Elephants were captured from these Hassan districts of Hassan, Kodagu districts of Karnataka, and they are been they are translocated into Nagarhole, and nobody knows what was the result after these translocation. So what we have done, and we looked at this elephants are collared. So one of these elephant, this is called Chinnatambi from the Tadagam Valley. This was captured 2 years ago, and along with this one, Vinayagan was also captured. 2 elephants were captured, and these elephants were translocated to Mudhumalai and Anamalai, and they were fitted with the satellite and the radio collar, and they were monitored, and their movement. One of these translocated elephant is settled in Bandipur, in Mudhumalai area, and another one is immediately in a week time it came out of the forest, and then again the forest department had to recapture it for the captivity. So given the number of the male elephants in the population, so we have to the capture for captivity should be the last option. So it should not be there in the plan A, and it should be the last resort. So we have to keep these elephants within the population, and that's where this we have been talking about this translocation. So given the scale of the fragmentation is happening, maybe in future there will be a requirement for the meta population management. In that case, so we have to have this practice, and we have to have this system trained even now. So keeping these male elephants within this population, and so all the elephants are not coming into crop rights. So we see conflict in different part of these landscapes, but all the elephants are not coming into conflict. There are certain elephants, they are habituated for crop raiding, and they are coming again and again for raiding crops. So such elephants to be profiled and identified, and they should be negative conditioned, but it will not be possible if the animal location is not known. So for to locate the animal, we need to scholar and to know the location, and then the scholar information can also be given to the people living in the fringe areas to avoid the encounter with this elephant. Suppose if this conflict elephant is coming to the village side and the crop fields, so the farmer will be informed that the elephant will be expected tonight, and then they'll be ready for negative conditioning that elephant. So that is how we worked with the local forest staff in Bandipur, and we were able to stop this Vinayaga elephant from the crop fields, and then it was using the forest areas, while it was 100% it was dependent over the crop fields when it was in Coimbatore. And that's how some of this field testing is being done, and this is how we fit the radio collar, and sometimes the elephant will go down, and then we'll have to fit the collar, and sometimes we will have the standing sedation when the elephant is in the deep sleep, snore sleeping, and we will put the collar while it is in the standing sedation. And a couple of elephants after translocation, we studied the results of the. So it's a mixed results. So always all elephants are not going to be settled, and all elephants are not going to be in the translocated area. It is going to be using the given good area. So one of the elephant which was translocated in Karnataka from Hassan district to Bandipur, 200 kilometers down the south.
Sir. Sir. Bhuminathan sir.
பிரேக் ஆயிடுச்சுன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். பூமி
நெட் ஏதோ கட் ஆயிடுச்சு.
நெட் கட் ஆயிடுச்சு. Bhumi? He's reconnecting, so we can wait.
ஓகே சார், அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க சார்.
Yeah. Sorry.
ஆ
Sorry, it's got disconnected. One second. Okay. So where I have left, sir?
Bhumi, you can just open your.
Can you all see the presentation?
Yeah, yes, Bhumi. This is where you are discussing about the 200 kilometers. Yeah.
Yeah. So the elephant, see the Kodagu area is the similar habitat what it was in Hassan. Then it got, accommodated there. And sorry.
Bhumi, you can switch off your video mode, Bhumi.
Hello.
Bhumi, you can switch off your video, Bhumi.
Okay, I'll switch off there.
Yeah, because that may
Yes,
you problem.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. So the elephant from Coimbatore, the Vinayaga elephant was translocated to Mudumalai, and this was immediately coming into Bandipur. You can see a line on the north. Immediately after the release, it was trying to come out to outside the forest to raid crops, but this area is unknown to this elephant. So we were able to stop this crop raids because the radio collar location is there, and then the elephant was using this area without any conflict, and then it had to utilize the natural habitat. So the conflict was drastically reduced, and then the another elephant, which is the Chinnakambi elephant, it came out, and then it was abnormally behaving and no fear on people, and just like very docile and already like a trained elephant. It was the staff going very close, and they were able to contain the elephant for few days, in near Udamalpet area, and then after that the direction was to capture the elephant, and it is there in the Anamalai elephant camp. So mainly what we are saying here, already the Asian elephants, unlike African elephants, only the males have the tusk. So already the poaching is there. Poaching is poaching for their ivory. So the male elephant numbers in the population is less. And the elephants which are killed in electrocution also mostly the male elephants, when they are dispersed, and then when they are alone, and then when they are going out and new areas, they raid crops, and they are having more threat for this electrocution, and they are getting killed. So And then the conflict, if we are capturing this by seeing conflict, if we keep capturing the male elephants, and this will be a very, very, it will have a very, very high impact on the genetic diversity in the population. So a couple of elephants I showed in the earlier, in the beginning of my presentation, I showed two male elephants during the must and non-must, how they are ranging and how they are contributing to that landscape in terms of breeding and genetics diversity. Such elephants are now is no more in the population. They are captured after seeing they are involved in conflict. So we will be taking decisions divisionally and state-wise, but we have to look at landscape-wise, and we have to have a integrated and coordinated state interstate coordination should be there to take such decisions. And a very first time a female herd was captured in Karnataka and translocated, and they were wandering a very large area of more than 1,000 square kilometers in Erode, Kulegal, and BRT, Satyamangalam, very large area, and in new area. But such translocations have given lot of insights and given lot of lessons how a plan should be there for the translocation. Suppose if you do a translocation and immediately exploratory movement is expected, then we have to look for a soft release and then keep the animal for few weeks or few weeks in a place and keep them calm down, and then we have to open up to a larger area to get acclimatized to that habitat. So overall, I would like to give the key message that so the elephant conservation is like it is a landscape conservation, and by which the other wildlife in the same area are all benefiting, and they are all protected, and they are all taken care. And then the elephants, given the amount of food that they are required, and given the variety of food, like the grass, and then the leaves and the twigs, and then the bark, and it will feed on lot of fruits, and they will also be dispersing seeds they are eating large quantity of food, and they are dispersing the seeds in the large areas. So they are giving a lot of essential, very, very important role in the ecosystem. And when there is water, water in the streams are not available, and when the elephants, they dig their on their own, and they'll have a subsoil water, and this water will be used by the other wildlife, and heavy understory, dense understory areas. If a herd of elephants walk through, it will be a kind of path will be created. So it will be, all its activities will be benefiting to the wildlife associating in the same area. So with this message, I would like to conclude, and thank you all for very patiently listening to my messages. And I would like to take on the questions if there is any. Yeah. So
thank you, Bhumi. Thank you.
And one more thing also I would like to tell, like we are all identified, we are all having a identification characters to differentiate each others. So the elephants also will be differentiated by their ear fold, by their tusk pattern. Some tusk will be very long, and tusk cross tuskers, and some elephants will be having a hole in the ear, and the tail will be cut. So the tail length, all that will be looked at for the identification of the elephant. So overall in India, to protect this, elephant and conservation of elephants, there is a body called Project Elephant. Like we have a Project Tiger scheme in 1973, and this Project Elephant has been initiated in 1992. and which gives support and funding for the elephant reserves across the country. Thank you. Hello?
Sir?
Is
Hello?
there a...
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, madam.
Thank you, Bhuminathan, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, please.
Person through this session is very informative, and get huge knowledge about landscape of the biodiversity.
So your voice is breaking, madam.
So many trouble. Remember that.
Your message is not clear, madam.
Sir?
It was not clear, madam. Your conversation was not clear.
Hello? Hello, sir?
Yes, madam. Yes.
வீடியோ ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு கூட பேசுங்க மேடம், கரெக்டா இருக்கும். கொஞ்சம் அந்த இது எதுவும் பிரேக் ஆகுது நெட்னால.
கேக்குதாங்க சார்?
இப்போ கரெக்டா.
Feel our presence inside the forest while going through this PPT. Informative and get huge knowledge of the landscape of the elephant biodiversity, tusk pattern, difference between tusk elephant, how the elephants struggle in the midst of so many troubles and overcome the barriers. Especially we remember Chinnathambi elephant, and you create a huge awareness the conservation of the elephant. Now I request Professor Dr. Chandrasekhar sir to ask some questions from participant side.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, கேக்குதுங்களா?
கேக்குது.
கேக்குதுங்க.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I feel very much honored to thank our most eminent resource person of this day, Mr. D. Bhuminathan, sir, Landscape Coordinator, WWF India, Western Ghats Nilgiri Biosphere. And for this wonderful event, jointly organized national level webinar on World Elephant Day celebrations with the WWF India. He delivered a wonderful speech on the elephant conservation and challenges in India. In this lecture, he enumerated the importance and essential of elephant diversity and conservation of India. On the behalf of our side and the participant side, to raise some clarifications about the elephant diversity and its characters. Sir, dear sir, I'm asking one by one. In the Indian conservation policy, what type of reporting and analytics are available in the Western Ghats biosphere?
Not clear, sir. Please, sir.
Sir, in Indian conservation policy, what type of reporting and analytics are available in the Western Ghats biosphere, like elephant diversity?
See, there is actually the elephant in India. So there is elephant task force is formed by the government. Elephant task force, and this elephant task force is analyzed. The kind of situations, the habitats, and the population, and then the technologies that are being used for population estimation. So all that, and they have brought out with a document called Gaja. So a document called Gaja, and if you can Google it, and you will get this document whereby you will see all this different analysis and the different key messages and challenges. So all the elephant conservation related matters are there, and of course they also have made these habitats into different zones. Like there are elephants in the large habitats, natural habitats in the Mudumalai, Bandipur, Satyamangalam, Nagarjuna, and there are elephants completely living outside the habitat, inside the coffee plantations. And so they based on their distribution, and based on the conflict intensity, so they have also clearly come out with a plan that elephant conservation zone, elephant no go zone, and the elephant coexistence, elephant people coexistence zones, like that they have derived it. And so you can get more information from this the Gaja reports.
Thank you, sir. One very simple question, sir. Live. How long does an elephant live?
Okay, so the elephant lifespan is something 50-60 years old. It can survive in the wild. And so the elephant maturity will be somewhere the 15 years old, female and male, they become maturity. And the adult males will be solitary after that. It's mainly to avoid inbreeding, like in the human beings, we have a system of marrying the uncles, relatives, and so the related marriage is mostly end up in inbreeding, right? So in the wild life, especially in elephants, so the males are driven out from the family to avoid inbreeding. So there, after that, once the female elephant, once they are attained maturity, and it get mated with the male, and then the gestation period is 22 months, while for human beings it's a 10 months. In the elephants, gestation period is 22 months, and the female elephants will potentially give 8 to 12 calves in its life time.
Internet cut ஆயிடுச்சு.
Hello, sir. It is a rudimentary tusk. So this the molar, there are 6 pairs of molars. In different time it will be erupting, and one pair of molar always you will see, and the second molar will be coming and pushing the first molar down. And so the ridges in the molar will also be used for calculating the age of the animal. And sometimes if we see the elephants in the crop field, and we will measure the 4-foot circumference after the elephant is left, and we will measure the 4-foot circumference from the tracks of the elephant, and multiply with 2. Suppose if we find 120 centimeter the 4-foot circumference, and we will say we will multiply into 2, so the 240 centimeter, that height, what will be the age? We will corroborate the age like that. So the lifespan is something 50-60 years old, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sir, another importance in before 5 to 10 years, the elephant trench project is running. Sir, I seen in Bharadar University nearby the Maradamala Hill, it's a trenches, right? So in this project also to discuss with so many ways. But now this project a success or not?
See, I tell you one thing. So the dimension of the trench is the dimension of the trench is 2-meter depth and 3-meter top width and 1-meter bottom width. So it is not, that's what we have been discussing that. So if we are not able to build the trench in that dimension, and if we are going to make in-depth, because of the rocky place, and you have some streams are coming out from the forest, and we cannot build a trench there. So whatever number of kilometer you build a trench, if there are gaps, it will not serve the purpose, right?
Yes.
So so we have to use multiple barrier design, where one trench cannot be built across the, and also the place like where you are living, you can see the forest boundary is following the contour line. There is no foot buffer space in the, the hills are coming like that, abruptly ending, so it is not possible. It is the rainfall, and then the people who are going inside and coming out, and the number of temples which are found inside, the contiguity is not there. There are several places elephant can come out. So given this experience in this area, and we should not plan trench in that particular area. So we have to plan trench in place where the condition is suitable.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So any method you have which has advantage and disadvantage, we have to take it into account, and such a way we have to plan, sir. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Another one, sir. Nowadays, the conservation policy, what kind of projects ongoing by the conservation of elephants in our Western Ghats?
See, conservation of elephants, first of all, I'll tell you one thing, sir. I have told you that the habitat related issue, one of the main key issue is the habitat fragmentation. More and more development projects are coming without any mitigation plan. You are building a road, but you don't see how the elephant will cross there. You are building a railway track, but you don't have any mitigation measures, and you are bringing more and more plants inside, and without mitigation. The second thing is the conservation organizations are working to secure these corridors. The fragmented areas, how we can secure this corridor. This is one thing that certain organizations are very, very keen to conserve corridors. Second thing, the habitat related issue is the invasive alien species, that lantana, camera, and the prosopis. So the government is already been started removing this lantana from the forested areas, and the weed, the unpalatable weed from the forested areas, and a lot of other organizations also working how we can scale up this removal from the forest areas, right? And the third thing, one cannot do any elephant conservation without understanding about their spatial requirement. Without suppose we are talking about elephant deaths in Coimbatore, we are talking about so many things, capture, translocation, all that. But whether we know the elephant from Coimbatore herd, how far they are ranging, do we have the data of the elephant ranging? No. So certain things are very, very key requirements for conservation of elephants, which we are lacking. So that's where we are all working with the government to to have that baseline first, and then to work on the rest. Yeah. Yes.
Some morphological characters, sir. So elephant having the brown eyes. You see any, because of some reported.
So the elephants. Sorry.
Yeah, we seen some reported, sir. The elephant having brown eyes in our Indian elephants. Any few are you've seen,
yeah.
sir?
Sir, this elephant eye color is the the honey color, the brown, all same. So elephant eyes are like that. So the elephant eye vision is not that good, So the elephant communication, they'll be communicating even more than 10 kilometers away by the infrasonic sound, and they'll be able to smell, from the farther distance, and they will be able to, understand by the seismic, the detection from the vibration, and the eye vision is very poor, and anything the bright in color, so they'll see the bright and dull. So if anyone going to the forest, why they are wearing a camouflage, camouflage dress, and when they are going to the forest, it's mainly to, if you are going very bright in color, suppose if there is a dry time, and if you are going in a bright color, so elephant can easily see that your motion. So that's how, yeah.
Any possibilities elephants blind at birth?
Elephant?
Blind at birth. Any possible?
Born blind.
Chances?
Born blind.
Okay, so see, blind by birth, na. So that
yes,
deformities will be there, for all the living things. Deformities is different, but once the animal is born, and then when they are in the forested areas, and sometimes the cataract will be there because of some stick is damaged eye, or sometimes people are using these small pellets kind of things to scare away elephants. They shoot at elephant, and these things will make the animal blind. But I have seen one elephant in the captive condition, very old elephant called Radhi, from the Mudumala elephant camp. Even both eyes were blind, we were told by the Mahout, and it will be negotiating the habitat very well by its by its trunk touching the ground. It will be negotiating without any problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. In these few words, I thank you for your creating regarding elephant conservations, and on behalf of participants and Zoology, Vasuvi College, thank you, sir, for your wonderful speech and presentations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So there is Daniel, sir. Daniel, sir, was there from Masanagudi. He was came up, and is there any question? I don't know. So thank you so much. Is there any other question, sir?
Enough.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
Can you hear me, sir?
Ma'am, proceed.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir. Sir, I am Murthy, AVC College. Sir, good morning, sir.
Yes, please go ahead, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, fine, sir. Sir, I have one doubt, sir. In forestry area, some of the mammals, herbivorous mammals are there, sir. So how to niche overlap one to other, sir? Elephant to other, sir. Niche overlap.
See, the elephants in the forest areas, how so we are just when we are following elephants, what we found. So the elephants are whatever activities that elephants are doing, which are very much connected with this wildlife presence in that particular area. For example, you see during the dry season, and the elephants are the only animal can uproot a tree and feed on the the vegetation and the leaves and bark, everything. So this has been utilized by the other animals, like the spotted deer or any other deer you find in that same area, right? And then when there is a salt lick there, so the other wildlife are not able to detect such salt licks, and the highly developed smelling capacity, the elephants are able to find out such locations, and the other wildlife are being used that that.
Hello. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, sir. Okay. Hello, sir.
Bhumi, உங்களுக்கு இதாயிடுச்சு disconnect ஆயிடுச்சு again. It was.
Hello.
It
Sir,
is.
it's
It got disconnected.
audible, sir?
Yeah. No, I think it got disconnected again.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Fine, sir.
Ma'am, can we wind up now?
Hello. Okay.
Can we wind up, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have one more question. Hello?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he is not back actually. Not able to connect it actually.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
He is back, sir, actually. Wait, sir.
Yeah, I'm
Bhumi, are you able to hear?
Yes, Anna. Yes, Anna. ரொம்ப நேரத்துக்கு முன்னாடியே கட்டாச்சா?
Bhumi. Yeah. Sir, you can put your questions. The last question, you can just
sir,
put it.
yes. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, this is not my. I am not asking the question. I have asked your opinion, sir. What about the electrical vents for elephant? So sometimes affect to that other mammals. Electrical vents, sir.
Fence, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. Correct, sir. So sometimes affect to that other small mammals. So what is your opinion, sir?
Sir, this electric fence is actually designed in different different height, and different strands are there. If
Yes,
you
sir.
are going to if your problem is only elephant problem, and
Okay,
so there will be a couple of strand is enough to just to to stop elephants.
Okay,
And
sir.
moreover,
Okay.
these are only the psychological barrier for elephants, so it will
Yes, sir. Yeah,
break
yes.
through, it will easily break through this fence, but this will only stop the elephant when they are approaching the crop field. So
Okay,
it has to be supplemented with the other field guarding also, right? So
okay, sir.
when we put only elephant specific fence, so the other wildlife can easily they can still cross these fences.
Okay, sir.
There is no it is not going to a barricade for the other. Suppose if you are having a multiple design, keeping in mind that wild boar also to be prevented and deer also to be
Correct,
prevented,
sir.
then it will be a multiple strands will be there. And when the multiple strands are done, and these fences are planned only in the interface between the forest and crop field or the village area. So these wildlife these fences are not going to be put up cutting across this wildlife movement area, right? So wildlife and human interface area only will be planned with this fence.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
And
thank you, sir.
different designs are there. And then the earlier questions, when you were asking the earlier questions, actually we have done a grid based camera trapping in the landscape.
Okay.
And we found a range of other wildlife wherever we have elephant pieces. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
ma'am, can we go conclude the thing? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I call upon Dr. Vasuvi, madam, to give a vote of thanks.
Madam, கனெக்ட் பண்ணிருக்காங்களா? ஹலோ மேடம். ஓகே.
Ma'am, you are audible.
Okay, ma'am. Good afternoon to everyone. On the behalf of PG and Research Department of Zoology, Sri Vasuvi College, first of all, I express my sincere thanks to our Secretary Sir and our management who gave their enormous support to conduct this national level webinar on World Elephant Day celebrations along with World Wide Fund for Nature to brought successfully. Then I thank to our respected principal, Dr. N. Jayakumar Sir, who gave valuable guidance and timely support to conduct this national level webinar in great success during this post-COVID-19 period. At this juncture, I thank our head of the department, Madam Dr. A. Chandrakala, for organizing this wonderful national level webinar on World Elephant Day celebration successfully. And also thanks to our department faculties, Dr. Raja Rajeshwari ma'am, Dr. P.S. Arnadev ma'am, Dr. Chandrasekhar sir, Dr. Uday Kumar sir, Dr. Saravana Raja sir, Dr. Mohan sir, and Dr. Ravadi ma'am, who all gave their immense support and cooperations for conducting the World Elephant Day celebrations in great success. And then I thanks to participants who participated from our colleges and various colleges, universities, and research institutions of states. I hope you all enjoyed this webinar, benefited, and attained more knowledge related to this topic through this online national level webinar. Next, I thanks to our UG and PG students, research scholars, gave their full support to conduct this webinar successfully. Then I thank to both the speakers, Mr. Saravanan sir and Mr. Bhuminathan sir from WWF Nature for India, servicing as coordinator of environment education for giving more information in the elephant. In their presentation, excellently explained about the survival and distribution of elephant in various Western Ghat regions of landscape resources. Sir beautifully explained about the distribution of Asian and African elephants in global level and also explained the number of elephant reserves present currently in India. Mr. Bhuminathan sir beautifully explained about the transmission of signal in musk elephant, then how elephants are translocated in vast areas, and also explain about the human-elephant conflicts. Through this presentation, I hope we acquired more information on elephant and troubles that the elephant faces in their day-to-day life through various factors, and also fantastically explain about the importance of elephant in forest biodiversity. On the whole, I thanks to both the resource person who spent their valuable time and delivered their excellent and fabulous presentations on the topic of elephant conservation and challenges in India. Then I like to thank the whole media technical teams who brought this awareness of elephant among the society through this national webinar on World Elephant Day celebration lively YouTube channel. Once again, I thanks to everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.